On today's DSLR video skills, we'll explore the use of a variable ND filter to dial in the perfect exposure.
Adorama TV presents DSLR video skills with Rich Harrington, where you'll learn all about videography and photography.
Hi, my name is Rich Harrington for Adorama TV, and today we're talking all about variable ND filters. Now, you might be used to using a variable ND filter for something like long exposure photography or long exposure time-lapse. Remember, with the ND filter, you can dial in different amounts of filtration, and this is great if you're doing long exposure photography. But it's also great for shooting video. One of the challenges when shooting video is that you often can't make adjustments. Now, you can, of course, in between shots. Maybe you have to go into a menu, maybe you have an older style lens with an actual aperture ring, but most modern lenses don't have aperture rings. It's all done with dials. And once you're rolling the video, you can't really change the shot. But the cool thing is with that variable ND filter, I could go between different types of exposure. In fact, this particular ND filter is going to give me almost 8 stops of range. There are ones that go up to 10 stops. There's lots of variety there. And as you turn this, it essentially dials in different amounts of filtration or neutral density filter. And it works really, really well. All right, let's take a look at a couple of practical uses for video. Let me roll through with the ND filter here. And you see we can go quite dark, virtually all the way stop down. And as I open that up, we can see more. This is a great way to refine exposure. Hi, this is Rich Harrington. Be sure to check out Adorama's latest contest and your chance to win great prizes. Perhaps you've dialed in one setting and it's a little too bright. You dial in another setting, it's a little too dark. Well, sometimes it's pretty hard to get those in-between settings. But with the filter, you can absolutely refine that. This monitor has some things to help me. In fact, I could push a button and bring up a histogram and see what's going on. So now as I adjust the exposure, you see that histogram moves side to side. Now the goal is not to move the histogram side to side, but to get the midtones properly exposed. That looks pretty good, but I'm going to tilt upwards. And as I go up and we start to get more of the sky in the shot, you see things are just a bit dark. Let's balance that out. There I'm overexposed. All right, that looks pretty good for the top of the shot. And let's pan down. And I can adjust. Here I'm opened up a bit more when I'm on the bottom of the jacket. And as I pan up into the sky, I could stop down slightly to cut down on the exposure issues. Additionally, if the histogram's not enough, I could switch over to false color. And each color is indicating a region. Here I've opened up for her jacket, and as I pan up and the shot gets brighter, I need to stop down just a little bit. The nice thing is that this is designed to actually be turned, even in fact in the middle of a shot. What's good is it's larger than the ring itself, so you can get your hand along the bottom here and with a simple thumb actually pull exposure, much like you learned about pulling focus on our Follow Focus episode. Now, this is a pretty simple scenario. The sun is up in the sky. As I tilt, I'm going from a slightly darker area to a brighter area. But you can be really dramatic. Maybe you're going from indoors to outdoors when shooting. Or maybe you really want to deal with some very tough conditions. It's a bright sunny day with a lot of clouds, and between every single take, the clouds are moving through and you constantly need to adjust. Rather than having to move lights or constantly step in and change settings within the camera, the quick turn of the variable ND filter lets you dial in just the exposure you want. Plus, you get that added benefit of long exposure photography, so when you're not shooting video, you can experiment with some great things like really lengthening out traffic or lights or sunsets or clouds. It's a whole bunch of fun. Now, you'll find a lot of these over at Adorama. There's a bunch of different ones that you could choose from. I'm using the Tiffin one here, but there are other brands you could check out with extensive customer reviews. And be sure to head on over to the Adorama Learning Center, where there's lots of articles that you can look up. For Adorama TV, my name's Rich Harrington. Be sure to subscribe to get every episode, and I appreciate you tuning in.
Do you want great looking prints at low cost? Be sure to visit our easy to use online printing service. Adorama Pix has professionals who treat your images with the utmost care that you can count on. For a quick turnaround on photos, cards, or albums, use AdoramaPix.com.